Hey guys, Edward here from Edward79, the Mixed Content Creator. Now, there are some foods out there that have gotten a really bad rap over the year. You know, pasta, potatoes, popcorn, and yeah. All of those foods are widely considered to be unhealthy and bad for you, and quite a few people say you should avoid said foods. But not every food the internet says you should avoid is actually that bad for you. In today's video, we're going to be covering 13 foods that seem unhealthy but actually aren't. Coconut oil used to be considered one of the worst oils on earth, primarily due to its high saturated fat content. But these days, perceptions have changed, and coconut oil is now regarded as a superfood. And while too much saturated fat is unhealthy, coconut oil not only has antioxidants, but also the ability to boost HDL cholesterol. Not to mention that the lauric acid in coconut oil gives it antimicrobial and antifungal properties. And did I ever forget to mention, I would be a criminal if I did not mention that coconut oil is excellent for your skin, and it can boost the moisture of dry skin, which is part of the reason why, along with many other benefits, coconut oil is widely used not just for eating, but also cosmetic purposes. Bread is sort of a mixed bag because, while some breads are very bad for you, primarily white breads that are loaded with sugar, if you buy a whole grain bread, you're getting a way more nutritious and not as unhealthy the product as if you were to buy ordinary white bread. This is because white bread is made from only the endosperm of the grain, whereas whole grain bread is made from the entire grain. The bran, germ, and endosperm are all mixed into the flour. And it just so happens that it's in the bran and germ where most of the fiber and nutrients in the grain are found. And what this means is that keeping the grain intact rather than removing the bran and germ before turning the grain into flour means the final product, in this case bread, has more fiber and nutrients. So, to get the best bread, whole grain should be the first item mentioned on the ingredients list. Also avoid sneaky added sugars. Dates are a fruit that's native to the desert that can be found all throughout the Mediterranean, and it was actually one of the first fruits that ancient Mesopotamians grew and cultivated. This means dates are really old, being older than almost any other crop people have domesticated. This, unfortunately, nowadays their high sugar content gets them into a lot of undeserved trouble, and quite a few people say you should avoid this ancient fruit due to its high sugar content. But you actually shouldn't avoid this fruit. It's full of fiber, potassium, copper, magnesium, calcium, and vitamin B6. And as far as varieties of dates go, Medjool dates have the most calcium of any variety. So overall, there really isn't a good reason why you should avoid this fruit at all, unless, of course, you don't like it, in which case eating this ancient fruit is totally optional. Just like coconut oil, egg yolks have gotten a lot of trash talk, primarily due to the fact that egg yolks are full of cholesterol. But what people didn't know is that egg yolks have the good HDL cholesterol, not the bad LDL cholesterol commonly associated with cholesterol-related problems. Egg yolks are... Did I ever forget to mention that egg yolks are jam-packed with nutrients egg whites either don't have or are lacking in, such as vitamins A, B6, B12, D, E, and K, as well as folate, biotin, selenium, and choline. Not to mention the fact that egg yolks have more protein than the whites, whereas the egg whites have more... However, the egg whites have more riboflavin, which the egg yolks are lacking in. So, overall, the best way to get the most out of your eggs, eat both the white and the yolk to get all the benefits. As one of America's most widespread crops, you'd think that corn is everywhere, right? Well, you couldn't be more right. Corn is used in a lot of applications, from livestock feed to biofuels to food additives like cornstarch. But the corn that's used in livestock feed, biofuel, and additives is not the kind of corn we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about sweet corn. Just like bread, corn has also gotten a very bad reputation for being loaded with carbs and sugar. But I should say, that's not where the story ends. Corn is full of vitamins and minerals, such as potassium, magnesium, vitamin B6, vitamin B1, vitamin B9, and vitamin C. Sweet corn is also full of fiber, which helps to slow the absorption of all that sugar, preventing a spike in blood sugar when you eat corn. So really, there's nothing to fear when indulging in sweet corn this summer. Red meats, such as beef, veal, pork, lamb, goat, and horse, are some of the most demonized foods on earth, primarily because of its heavy content of saturated fat. But in truth, saturated fat actually isn't that bad for you, and these red meats are full of nutrients such as vitamin B12, zinc, vitamin B3, selenium, and iron. But be careful. While saturated fat isn't bad for you in moderation, too much can lead to problems, especially cardiovascular issues. Even still, red meat is nowhere near as bad for you as the internet says. Unless that is, it's processed meats. Processed meats such as bacon, salami, sausages, hot dogs, and ham all are not great for you, as they're loaded with salt and have preservatives such as nitrates and nitrites. As a fruit that's been heavily demonized due to sugar, bananas are one of the most ubiquitous fruits on earth. Convenience stores, gas stations, breakfast/bagel cafes. I dare you to name a place where you cannot find this fruit. And while a medium banana does have 14 grams of sugar, that's natural sugar, which isn't bad for you unless eaten in excess. In fact, many fruits that are considered healthier than bananas actually have more sugar. For example, a medium apple has 19 grams of sugar, cherries have 20 grams, and a pear has 17 grams, all compared to a 14 grams of sugar banana. But all that aside, bananas are still full of nutrients, most notably potassium and magnesium, but also dietary fiber and vitamins B6 and C. So, despite what the internet might want you to believe, bananas are a perfectly healthy snack that can be a part of your diet. Coffee has long been seen as unhealthy for various reasons, such as its acidity causing heartburn or its caffeine causing heart complications. But this actually isn't very true. Coffee has actually been shown to reduce your risk of cancer and diabetes, as well as improve your memory, mood, and energy levels. And while caffeine is addictive, it's nowhere near as addictive as other more dangerous substances, like tobacco or alcohol. Black coffee is also loaded with powerful antioxidants that reduce your risk of cancer, heart disease, and other health complications. Not to mention, coffee has no calories unless coffee creamer is added. Coffee also has moderate amounts of vitamin B2 and magnesium, so it turns out this morning caffeinated delight is actually anything but bad for you. There's a reason the Irish were still healthy despite having ate almost entirely potatoes, and that reason is that these tasty tubers are packed with nutrients. One potato has twice as much potassium as a banana, while also packing loads of protein, vitamin B6, iron, manganese, magnesium, and vitamin C. Potatoes are also very starchy, meaning that starch can be broken down into sugar, which can give you energy. And while yes, fried forms of potatoes like potato chips and french fries are anything but healthy, other not fried potato forms such as baked, boiled, mashed, or roasted potatoes are all healthy and delicious meals. However, despite potatoes being nutritional powerhouses, they do have one flaw, and it's that they lack vitamin A. But even with this lack of vitamin A, that's nowhere near enough to make potatoes bad for you. So overall, potatoes are anything but bad for you, and they should be a regular part of your diet. Just like other foods on this list, chocolate is often seen as unhealthy because it's full of sugar and fat. But I should say that this addictive snack does have a good side. chocolate, especially dark chocolate, contains antioxidants in them called flavonoids. Chocolate gets these antioxidants from the cacao beans that's used to make chocolate. Hell, even white chocolate has some of these flavonoids, as the cacao butter that's used in white chocolate also has some flavonoids. Even so, milk and white chocolate still have way less of these flavonoids than dark chocolate, as well as having more sugar. So milk and white chocolate are best eaten in moderation. That's not saying chocolate is a superfood either, because it's still a confectionery candy with lots of sugar and fat. But what I'm trying to say here is that chocolate is nowhere near as bad as people make it out to be, and that you can still very much so enjoy a bar of chocolate in moderation. Just like coconut oil, full-fat dairy products have gotten a really bad rap over the years, and even now, quite a few people believe that low-fat and skim milk is better than full-fat dairy. But that's actually not the case. For one, the fat in dairy products gives it its flavor, meaning that when the fat is removed, so too is a lot of the flavor of dairy. The fat removal... Did I ever forget to mention that the fat removal process also removes nutrients from the dairy? So low-fat and skim milk are actually less healthy than full-fat whole milk. And this same principle holds true for derivatives of milk, such as butter, yogurt, cheese, and ice cream. Again, full-fat versions of these dairy products are more nutritious than low-fat or skim versions for all the reasons I mentioned before. So the next time you feel like grabbing low-fat milk, just remember, it's not as nutritious as you think, and it's best you buy whole milk instead. Popcorn, just like chocolate, is one of those foods that's a mixed bag, as it can either be ridiculously unhealthy or supremely healthy depending on certain variables. For example, if it's movie theater popcorn that's cooked in oil and drenched in artificial butter, then no, it's not healthy. The calorie dense and will clog your arteries. But if the popcorn is air popped and not totally drowned in butter, then it's actually a pretty healthy snack. And just like I said before, corn is loaded with nutrients, which makes popcorn, which is a derivative of corn, a good source of protein, fiber, iron, magnesium, and vitamin B6. And while yes, you can pop amaranth grains as a lower calorie substitute, if you eat air-popped popcorn, you really don't have to do this, as air-popped popcorn is already pretty healthy by itself. As one of the most delicious nuts on earth, macadamias have gotten a bad rap for their high fat content. But, just like with other nuts, the fat in macadamias is unsaturated fat that's actually good for you and your heart. Macadamia nuts also have other nutrients, including iron, vitamin B6, protein, magnesium, and potassium. And as far as which variety you have macadamia nuts to choose at the store, raw or dry roasted macadamias are best, as no other ingredients are added with these cooking methods. On the other hand, oil roasted macadamias are a no-go, because as the oil that the nuts are roasted in adds fat to an already super fatty nut, making oil roasted macadamias a no-go. But overall, macadamia nuts are a really healthy and nutritious snack, and there is absolutely no reason you should stop eating these nutritious nuts. So there you have it, 14 foods that seem unhealthy but actually aren't. We hope you enjoyed this video. As always, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!